Welcome to episode 3 of the Doughboys podcast, where we talk everything Amazon and business. My name is Logan, and I'm joined by my lovely, studly co-hosts, Josh and Cisco. Super excited to be back for another episode, and we personally want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, happy Turkey 5. Hope you all are crushing those sales, getting prepared for your Amazon business. We're going to start off this episode with our hot take of the week. This hot take comes from me, and here it is, guys. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. Everyone, at some point in their life, should start a business. What do you think?
I completely agree, 100%. Regardless if it's a passion or just something that you do on the side, I think starting a business has so many different good implications in your life. For example, right, let's say it's just you do something on the side as a hobby. Let's say, dear Aunt Sally sews or knits some scarves every winter, right? Mm-hmm. All of the supplies that she buys, even if the company takes a loss, they're all tax deductible. And there's a lot of different things that she can end up writing off. This isn't tax advice, but this is just, what I would do.
Not tax advice.
But there's a lot of things that she can do to help out as far as her finances go throughout the year, regardless.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Now, definitely talk to your CPA before doing that. But,
Absolutely.
Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I raise some concerns because I know that I'm really bad with money management. I don't understand it. I don't understand how business works. So I'm someone that is one of those people that should be starting a business that's scared of it. I'm scared of the process of starting something, putting money into it and failing it and losing.
So let's break this down for Josh, right? Josh, what is your passion? What are you planning to do?
Yeah, I'm just really passionate about coaching. I actually coach club volleyball right now and a high school soccer team, and I love every second of it.
Perfect. Yeah. So that in itself could be the business that you start, regardless if it's profitable or not, right? Regardless, you're going to be doing it, starting off, whether you do it on the side, whether you do it as something you end up doing full time. But starting out, everything that's implemented when it comes to running that business, that coaching business, that soccer coaching business, will be tax deductible, and it's going to be helpful to have you continuously learn and become that of what you want to do with that as full time, because it's part of your passion. So, for example, when you go drive around in your car to go buy soccer balls at the sports store or whatever, all those things are going to become tax deductible that you can use towards your business.
Yeah, it's not financial advice.
What?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry. For me, give me a 30-second. What's tax deductible?
Anything. It's different for every business category, but depending on what you're doing, if it's for your business, typically you can write it off as a tax deduction.
Pay less in taxes.
Exactly.
Gotta love that. Yeah, it's really interesting that you bring this up because a lot of people have been talking to me recently. I just had a conversation yesterday about coaching businesses, and specifically in the St. Louis area, there's a lot of people that are doing really well for them financially through coaching businesses. There's just so many different levels. I'm working for this volleyball club now. There's one-on-one. There's a lot of different laneways, a lot of different options you can take in the coaching arena. And it's interesting because I never had necessarily thought about it as a business. I always thought about it as I'm a player, there's coaches, but now I'm on that aspect and I have you guys as friends. It's an interesting prospect, and I'm trying to start it up.
Yeah. And you mentioned how you're not super good with the aspect of money and things like that. The beauty of business and really life is you don't have to do every aspect of everything yourself. Yeah. You have friends, you can have partners, eventually employees who can handle the things that you're not super good at. And that way you can focus on the area that you are skilled at, like coaching.
I wish I knew someone that was good at handling money and starting businesses.
Here's two right here.
Yeah. And not only that, especially when you're starting out, it breaks you out of your shell to do things that are uncomfortable for you, and you start to learn, right? Like for example, there's a lot of people that are good at business and money managing that are introverts, and it's hard for them to get out there in front of people and network, right? And then the adverse, right? There's people that are extroverts and are good at talking, but they might be bad at money managing. So those weaknesses are things that they can focus on in improving themselves in general. So everyone should start a business one way or another.
So don't shy away from your weaknesses, but definitely play to your strengths is what you're saying.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah. And there's a balance there that you need to find. Like, don't just avoid something because you're bad at it. You need to, one, hone new skills, and two, do things that challenge you so you'll grow as a person. But also, like Gary Vee says, triple down on your strengths. Don't be so worried about the things that you're bad at. Recognize them, be self-aware, and then tunnel focus on the things you're really good at and become even better at them.
100%.
And then this might also make sense, to you as obviously soccer is a sport, right? In soccer or in sports in general, in your game plan, you want to play to your strengths, right? You're not going to focus your game plan on your weaknesses. So it's the same thing in business, same thing in life. Everyone has weaknesses, right? We all have to be self-aware of what those are and self-analyze and look in the mirror. But like Logan said, what you guys said, focus on what you're good at, and then on the side continuously start improving what those weaknesses are, so they don't end up weaknesses. They can start as weaknesses, but eventually you have to develop those skills too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it would push back though on everyone starting a business. I think that's dangerous. There are some people I'm thinking of right now that pop into my head immediately when you say a statement like everyone. It's a dangerous statement. There's some people, absolutely not.
Most generalizations are.
Yeah. But we have some mutual friends that, we would agree it's like you shouldn't start a business. It wouldn't be profitable. I don't think you have the desire for it, and you would end up losing a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think it's a smaller portion, but I wanted to say that for if you're going to go out there and just tell all your friends, go start businesses.
Yeah, but I think that kind of goes back to my original point of Dear on Sally, right? Her scenario, she's not necessarily doing it to win $1. She's just kind of doing it to put herself in a better place in her bank account, right? Like that way, instead of just knitting scarves for her nephews and for her grandkids, the yarn that she buys, the gas that she spends to go to Walmart to buy those supplies all become something that she can potentially use to help her out as far as cover some of those expenses.
Yeah, I'll give you a real life example. My grandma, she really likes to knit and make stuff yarn, like you're saying, and we help her sell those on Facebook and stuff, so that she really enjoys making them, but then also she can make a little bit of money to at least cover the expenses of that hobby.
Yep. And not only that, once you put yourself out there, you end up meeting a bunch of people that you never would have expected to in the first place, right? Even if, for example, your grandma's example, she's probably not the one out there on Facebook, but it's you. So then you've, in one way or another, have connected with additional people that you probably wouldn't have in your lifetime.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to why I originally said this statement, Cisco, you tweeted the other day about success.
It was something along the lines that only you can measure your success, right? No one else can. And the reason that is because everyone has a different end goal, right? I think a common topic that gets discussed in the community is being financially free, right? But what does that look like to each individual? I know for me, it's not about making, a billy, if I make $1 million, that'd be great. But I think for me, it's more so to have enough to take care of the people around me and to be able to give them different opportunities to help themselves as well. Which doesn't...
And to have a Lambo, right?
No, I'm good with my Corolla, bro.
Just a Bugatti guy.
Yeah, just a Bugatti. I'll take the Bugatti for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. It's up to you to define what success is. But for me, what I believe a general, aspect of success is being able to successfully monetize your passions. And I think a fantastic avenue to do that is starting a business. It's not the only way, but it's definitely a great way to go about monetizing your passions.
Yeah,
there are some passions that are more difficult to monetize than others.
Yeah, there's definitely
every passion is monetizable because of the internet.
That's true.
Gary Vee, 15 years ago, go search Smurf it up on YouTube. Search Smurf It Up Gary V after this. You love Smurfs, start a Smurf blog. You like Alf, start a Alf podcast, whatever. Anything is monetizable because of the internet. You can create content about anything and turn it into something monetizable. So any topic is monetizable. Everything.
And this is the segue to our spin-off podcast, The Smurfs.
Yeah, we're going to call it Smurf It Up.
Link right here.
Okay, the reason why we all wear blue.
Yeah, so when you're starting a business, I think it's always important to remember your why and your motive behind why you started it. So, Cisco, do you want to, explain to us kind of why you started the Amazon business?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when I started the Amazon business, it wasn't even me who wanted to start it. Like my wife, I guess at the time she was my fiance, but she kept seeing these TikTok ads about it, and then she's like, "Here, learn this so you can teach me." And I was like, "All right." So then I learned it, except I never gave it back to her, and I just kept rolling and rolling and rolling. And then now it's just become a thing that we do to, one, give ourselves a better lifestyle, but two, also support the people around us. Like, I think my biggest thing is, like some people dream about having a Lambo, having, a penthouse in Miami. I more so want to buy, my mom's loves the farm, so I want to buy her a farmhouse eventually, right? And I want to help retire my wife's parents as well, So for me, it's about that. That's my goals. Those are my ambitions.
Love it. Yeah, so for me, I originally started out the Amazon business as, just like a way to make some more money. But really why I like business as a whole, I've started tons of like small businesses throughout my life. I just love entrepreneurship and like the startup factor of starting a business and then building it into something. Why I have this Amazon business specifically now is it's a means to get money to use as like a catapult for other ventures. So I'm not passionate, about selling $20 peanut butter or, makeup for double the price on Amazon or
wait, is that whatever it is. Drop?
Yeah, we'll put Nason somewhere.
$20 peanut butter sounds good.
Yeah, it's good, Asen. So yeah, I'm not super passionate about selling on Amazon. What I am passionate about is starting businesses, and I realized that Amazon is a really great way to make money now so that I'll have funds to start businesses that I'm more passionate about in the future.
So I have a question for you. Do you see yourself selling on Amazon in the next 5 years?
It's possible. I may or may not be looking towards an acquisition in the next few years.
Interesting. Yeah, because I know for me personally, I guess I'm on both sides. I 100% see what you're saying, and that's actually part of my plan, is to use this as a catapult to get into other things that take up a little bit more capital, right? But I don't know I know I won't be doing Amazon in the same sense that I'm doing it now as far as like online arbitrage. It's definitely eventually going to evolve to private label or to being a lot more heavy into wholesale. Yeah,
for sure. It's a way that people typically transition. One more thing on this. So I feel like if I did just sell my Amazon business, it would be really hard to walk away from it. Like it's been such a huge part of my life for the last almost 3 years, and then to just stop doing it all of a sudden, it could be really weird. But like I said, I'm starting other businesses, and Amazon is a fantastic platform, hundreds of millions of customers. And what I can do is just in all those other businesses, sell our products on Amazon. So I might still be selling on Amazon. It just probably won't be arbitrage or wholesale or PL.
Yeah, and I think that just speaks to kind of the reason why you also become successful, right? To become successful, you have to be consistent, and you have to not necessarily enjoy the end game, but enjoy the process. And
time in the market.
Time in the market's better than timing the market.
Yep.
Let's go. Go buy some real estate too.
The fact that you started this Amazon business, and it might have been a means to an end, but now you're even potentially using it in your other businesses. And even if it had failed, that would have still been a win because it was helping you with your other businesses. So that goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of like, even if you fail, starting a business can still be a learning process. You meet people, networking, like what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Cisco, I want to know how long have you been in the Amazon business? When did you start it?
The end of 2020 going into 2021. So it's about to be a full 2 years. That's when I started.
Logan pretty similar on that starting time then.
Yeah. I think he took it a little bit more seriously in the beginning than I did, and then I was a little late to the party. AKA,
well, he didn't have a job.
That's true.
Hey, I was working at Don's.
Yeah,
I think it's Don's.
You didn't
Sounds like a
job.
Pip House.
Oh,
Cisco
okay,
does.
gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, I have a job.
Lunch break.
Yo, dumb.
And do you have a timeline on when you see you talked a little bit about getting out, anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get out. It's definitely going to change of how I'm doing it now. No, I don't have a timeline. Yeah, right now I'm just kind of enjoying the wave and kind of seeing where it leads to. I do have some things that I want to start doing, in the near future. So I'm starting to put some capital to the side to be able to kind of jump into some of those ventures. But no, I don't really have a timeline to get out or transition.
We're talking about business aspirations. Do you want to share some of those, maybe a tidbit of what you're planning or what you want to start?
Yeah, I think I've always been interested in real estate in general. So I definitely want to start building up some capital. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know if it's going to be more so, flips or Airbnbs or short-term, long-term rentals. I guess I'm still kind of in the moment. I am continuously educating myself in the process. So
talk about time in the market, though.
Yeah. Well, you can't just jump in if you don't know anything or if you don't have the capital to play.
Yeah, but real estate, word on the street is it's about to be prime time to buy. I think everything's going to go on fire sale is what I'm hearing. What do you guys think about, the upcoming recession? Should we be buying assets, selling, holding? What's going on?
I'll start off with this. It's interesting that you bring up the recession because I was just seeing a video with Jeff Bezos and he was saying, don't start businesses, hold off on buying that house, asking for that loan, any of those things because of the recession. He was asking people to hold off on that. That was his financial advice. So it's interesting that we're talking about someone like me interested in starting up a business. Now, I think that a coaching business is very low on the front end in terms of businesses that you need capital to start up. And you always have customers, you always have a market, but it would be interesting how a recession would affect that. Will parents be willing to pay less? Will there be less kids that can go? Do I have to jump through more financial hoops to get kids to be involved in my club or my training session, whatever that is? That was my side of what I'm thinking about the recession.
Yeah, I think if you don't have the capital to buy and hold something, right? Like whether it be to sustain a business, to sustain some investments, or to sustain, property, then maybe you shouldn't do it, and you should definitely use this time until you can to continuously educate yourself, continuously start building that capital to do those ventures to better yourself, right? But I guess it depends on exactly what type of investments you're doing. Like, for example, you have all the big wig real estate guys buying up properties left and right because they know that the average Joe can't afford it with the current, market and the way it is now. And then in turn, they're going to flip it and send them out as rentals, right? Because they can do that. And as the market improves, they're just going to refinance those homes or end up selling them out and take their profits or whatever. But they can do that because they can sit, on $1 million for the next year or two.
It's crazy.
I don't think any of us are in that position where we can just have $1 million sit and not touch it.
That's what recessions do, though, right? The rich get richer, right?
I wouldn't even say the rich get richer. I mean, it does. That's part of it. But I would say the smart get richer. Like if you have been continuously working on trying to improve your life situation, like you can come out of this ahead.
Yeah, I'll follow up your statement there with a quote from Ron Swanson. Capitalism is God's way of determining who is smart and who is poor.
Cisco's reaction.
That's great. That's literally what I just said. I'm like, I'm a smart guy. Look at that.
You're Ron Swanson.
Yeah, I could be. Maybe he stole that from me. I should hit him up.
People will make money in this recession if they've been, preparing the last couple of years. People who've been building businesses, making more money, and have the money to invest and buy the dip. I think those are the people that are going to benefit long term.
Yeah, 100%. And it goes back to like Atomic Habits, right? Like being 1% better every day. Mm-hmm. Invest into the market 1% every day. You'll come out ahead. Time in the market, man. That's what it's all about.
I love that 1% because that's all about the little things. Are you getting out of bed at the same time? Are you making your bed? We talk about those little things between us three all the time.
Yeah, definitely don't get out of bed at the same time.
That's what makes you 1% better every day. Yeah. What'd you say?
I don't get out of bed at the same time. Absolutely not.
Yeah, you need to start that habit like now.
I know, man. Y'all go to bed too early.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Turkey 5. So
Turkey 5.
Turkey 5 is coming.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
For sure.
That's interesting.
How do you guys think this recession will, have an impact on Amazon sellers, and what can they do to help prepare?
Well, Logan, I'm glad you asked, buddy. Okay, because I've been thinking about this a lot. Because I've been thinking about what I'm gonna do. Because I'll be honest, I have seen a personal slowdown. Right, not necessarily in revenue, because I did do some things. I did some adjustments, but I do see a velocity switch. Right, some ASINs that I feel like have been selling super fast are still selling, but not in the same velocity. So I think in this case, it is, at least what I'm doing is I'm going super wide. I am going super wide, getting a lot of different things, and I'm not focusing on any of those bolos. Like up until this point, I would say until the summertime, like I was going super wide on things that are replenishable, but I would be going super deep for a moment on those bolo listings, like the magic mixes, right? The chlorine, the pools, the
shout outs,
the Encanto house, the Gabby doll house, right? I would go super deep. Once I found one of those ASINs, I would drive to every Walmart. I'm in an area where there's literally like 20 or 25 Walmarts within 30, 45 minutes of me. So I wouldn't be able to hit all of them up. So it would just be like a 2 or 3 day circle around every single Walmart and grab everything, right? But I think those opportunities aren't going to be as abundant. And especially with where the community is now, like once one of those opportunities like go live, there is going to be 500 sellers on it. There used to be a bolo that was amazing. That was a buy and hold for me. I'm also not buying and holding anymore. Which is the Santa Lego sleigh or whatever it's called.
That is a fantastic product.
It was a fantastic product. We were buying. Have you not seen it?
No, because I couldn't get more than a few from Lego.
Okay, so yeah, take a look at it. It was shared in a very large community, and this community has a lot of following. And it literally went from when I saw it last, when I originally saw it, because I was holding it for Q4, it had only like 40 sellers on it, but it's a product that also goes down to the hundreds in sales rank, right? And then now I just looked at it recently, it had like over 500. It peaked at like almost 700 sellers, but it started to come back down now. But
700 sellers?
That's the most I've ever seen on
no interest in that price.
That's insane.
I thought the packy chips were bad, but that kind of took the.
But the packy chips sell so quick.
Yeah, 100%.
It almost didn't matter.
Yeah, but it took a while
in a day.
Yeah,
and but it definitely
sending them in.
But it definitely took some time for that price to recoup from the initial burst of people on it.
Yeah,
because of the whole $1 undercut game.
Penny.
So dumb.
I mean, some people were $1 cutting. They would literally, it would be a whole dollar.
It's like, how can you afford to just cut a whole dollar?
Don't know what they're doing.
People freak out. They don't want their money back.
Yeah. I liked what you were saying though about going wide. Even if we weren't, heading into a recession, that's a model that I preach to Amazon sellers. Anytime I want to call or messaging somebody, I tell them go wide, not deep. And shout out Nate Jackson from Hustle Buddies, because he's where I got this mindset from. But every single ASIN, we're going really wide. My initial test orders are like 3 to 5 units, and then we're expanding from there. But we're just making sure we never. There are some rare exceptions where I break this rule, but we're almost never going super deep in terms of overall capital on one specific ASIN. because you never know what's going to happen to that ASIN.
That's 100% facts. And if you really just kind of focus on one brand, one product, if that product happens to go bad, it could ruin your business, right? Because you're not in a position to pivot quickly. You'll pivot, but it's going to take some time to make those adjustments.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt you.
And brand, like you said, not even just one specific ASIN. I can think just off the top of my head, and I'm sure there's more, 2 specific times where I was really heavy on one brand, and then Amazon just absolutely ruined it. There was one, like when I was more towards the beginning doing retail arbitrage, there was a clothing brand that I would source super heavy from Kohl's. It was probably 25% of my business. And then Amazon overnight decides that I'm gated. And thankfully, after I think like 6 weeks or so, I was able to get ungated. But I had like 200 pairs of pants that were at Amazon. They decide I'm gated, and now they have to ship them all back to me. And then we have to wait for that problem to get resolved. And then the other one, this is the craziest idea I've ever had, but these ASINs were so good. They were insane. Like 30% margin and super easy to pack and to ship in bulk. I was talking to Josh. Let's just convert the business to these 9 ASINs. We can run a $15,000 profit a month business and only work like 5 hours a week. Let's do it.
Oh,
dumbest idea I've ever had. All right. Because then Amazon, like a week later, comes on all those listings and they're ruined.
So, okay, I know which product you're speaking of. Mm-hmm. Now, looking back on the history of it, right? It could be very profitable and still potentially can, but you would be stressed out for months on end because they come back. They run out. There's a history of them always running out, but they run out in different points of the year, so it's never the same. It's just whenever they like run out of stock. And yeah, you're right. You could sell hundreds a day of this product.
It's insane.
It's insane. But then for 2, 3, 4 months, you're gonna be there like crying, thinking about like what's gonna happen if this doesn't get fixed. You know?
Yeah.
But absolutely, I'm with you, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's that time of day for Logan to give us his quote.
He's ready for this. The hallmark of a real man is controlling himself, controlling his emotions, and acting appropriately regardless of how he feels. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.